Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Equals and Hashcode. Today I'm back with another Leetcode problem which we will be solving in Pyspark. So let's look at this problem. Before starting the problem, I would like to request you guys, if you like my videos, please like, share and subscribe my channel. And that will help me grow as well, and it will motivate me to bring more and more content like this for you guys. Thank you. So let's start. So let's look at the problem. So this is a medium level problem on Leetcode. That is, it asks for the consecutive numbers. So let's look at the table. So our table has two columns. One is ID, one is num. So ID is the primary key of this table. And so this is the example table here. So now we have ID and num. So ID is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like consecutive numbers. And then num is the value of that particular ID. So what we have to find is which three consecutive nums have the same value. Like for ID 1, 2, and 3, you see the num 1, 1, 1. So this qualifies for the test. So our answer has to be 1. Now there are other values as well, like 2, 1, 2, 2, but 2 and 2, these are not consecutive. Then again 2 here, but 1 comes in between, so it is not consecutive. So 2 doesn't qualify. So our answer has to be 1. So let's look how we will be solving this problem in Pyspark. So I will shift to my Jupyter notebook, and I have pasted the problem here in the first cell for reference. So same, we are importing the find a Spark Jupyter notebook, and then here I'm creating the data. So here I've got the Spark session, and then I have created the schema, that is ID and num. Then I have created the data, so it is tuples. So ID is 1 and num is 1, ID 2, num is 1, and so on here. So I have created this data frame. Let's look how this data frame looks like. So this will have two columns. One will be ID and one num. And the first value of the tuple will go into ID, and the second value will go into the num. So let's wait till this process runs. And yeah, so this stage should be running here soon. Let's wait for it. Yeah, so this is running. We have our data frame here. So we have the ID, we have the num here. So 3 consecutive nums. Okay. So now what logic are we going to apply? Look, what we have to check is this ID 1, the value of num, ID 2 and 3. This should be equal. So if you take the middle number here, the logic which I'm applying here is, again, I'll be using analytical functions, lead and lag. So if you take this number in between, so what will be the value of lag for this? Lag will be this first value. And what will be the value of lead for this? Lead will be the third value. Okay. So if I add 2 more columns, lead and lag, so one column will have the previous value, one column will have the next value. Okay. Let's check for 2. 2, what will be the lead value? That will be 1. And what will be the lag value? It will be 1. So these 3 will not be equal. So these are not going to qualify. Okay. Same will be for 1 and numbers, so on and so forth. Okay. So what I have done here is I have created a window. Okay. Lead and lag, for using lead and lag to use the window function. So I have created a window. Partition by will be null because we do not need to partition the data. We have to take whole data frame as 1, but we have to order by ID. Okay. Because we have to apply the lead and lag window functions on the num column. So we are ordering it by ID. That's it. Now we will be creating one lead and lag DF. What we have done is we will be taking one more column which has lag, and we are taking the lag of the num, the previous num, and putting it in this lag, and same for the lead. Let me run this code, then you will understand what exactly the output will be and how it will look like with the lead and lag. and then I can explain you the logic there. Okay, so we have our output here. So lag for ID1, there is no number like before it, so the lag will be null. Okay, same for ID7, there is no number after this, so the lead will be null here. Okay, so now what we will be doing next is we will be comparing num, lag, and lead. So that should give us our output. Okay, so if we take this first row, so if we are comparing these three numbers, they are not equal. Okay, you have a null in between. You take the second row. Okay, so these three are equal, so that means one qualifies. Okay, one satisfies our condition that three consecutive numbers will be equal. Okay, so this qualifies. Next, you take this third ID, it doesn't qualify. You take fourth ID, doesn't qualify. Fifth also doesn't qualify. Sixth also doesn't qualify. Okay, so only one qualifies here. Okay, and let's go back to our previous table. If you see it here, you have 1, 1, and 1. So these doesn't, only one qualifies and these doesn't qualify. Okay, so our output will be 1. Okay, that's what the question says. See, and the consecutive number output has to be 1 here. Okay, so what we'll be doing is now we will apply a filter here. Okay, so what our filter says, num should be equal to lag, which should be equal to lead. Okay, so num equal to lag, which should be equal to lead. And let's show this data frame. Okay, so we have the previous data frame here. Okay, so we have our output here for ID2, 1, you get these three. Okay, so now we just have to select it, select num as consecutive nums so that we get the desired output. Okay, so I'll remove the show here and combine these data frames and run it. This logic, sorry. Yeah. So here you go. So you have your consecutive nums here, which is 1. Okay, so this is one approach certainly you can solve this problem with. With SQL, you can do there is a join approach we can apply and solve this. But I find this approach more modular. If you find any other approach in which you can solve it, please share it in the comments. That will help others and me and everyone to understand the other logics as well. Okay, so with this, I'll be ending the video here. And again, if you like my video, please like, share, and subscribe it. Watching. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.